Colts Vikings. We care about that one enough.
Yeah, we can do Sunday Night Football real quick because I think, Dylan, in your mind, is this a loser leaves town?
I wouldn't say.
I think it is in your mind. If the Vikings lose this game at home with more rest than the Colts, then you are going to be all-time Vikings are not making the playoffs.
Well,
And
here
that would be valid.
It's very important that you brought that up because one of my notes here is I've been trading Minnesota Vikings stock like I'm who's the guy from The Big Short? Gosh dang it. Burberry.
Oh,
I'm blanking on his name. It's okay.
I keep thinking Michael Bublé.
Close. That's close. We might need a fact check on that. Michael Burry. I've been like Michael Burry trading the Viking stock. At the beginning, I said Sam Darnold with weapons, and then they started to look a little fraudish. I said, hey, this team, 5-0, not that good. So I exited my position right here. I would say we're about right here where my fingertips are, and I am exiting my short position on the Minnesota Vikings. I think I'm done being short on the Vikings. They lost their 2 games. That's fair. Vikings fans, everybody that's in the comments, I own you. I know your team better than you do. You can't deny that. I know your team better than you do. But I'm exiting this position. This is an interesting game because we have Joe Flacco stepping in. If there's one pick I could give, Joe Flacco interception. I don't know what the odds are. I don't know what the odds are going to be. They haven't released them yet, but whenever they come out, probably going to be like minus 150. I would still take it. He's throwing an interception here. And I think the Vikings do win this game. I think that, why am I blanking now? Flores schemes up something here. The game plan's in front of every single team that plays the Vikings from now on. Short passes, quick passes, make things work in the open field. But I think the Vikings come out on top on this one. Do they cover? I don't know. But this should be a very good game. Loser leaves town, though. I'm not going there quite yet.
Do you think, though, Dylan, that like this is kind of, you talked about the number 1 pass blocking offensive line in the NFL for the Colts. Do you think that kind of folds in this spot with because we know Brian Flores wants to run a lot of blitzes. Like,
loves to bring
in my mind, that almost like, obviously, if they are, it's going to be that matchup, I think, is going to determine the game, because if the Colts are able to keep Joe Flacco upright, like I really like the Colts in this spot. I feel like the Vikings are a team that are reliant on pressure and kind of havoc with blitzing. And if they're not getting home on those, that's an issue for them. I think that determines the game. And I do think the Colts offensive line's able to keep them upright. And I do like the Colts here, but I just thought that was an interesting matchup that I wanted to bring up and see what you thought.
I see what you're doing because I made a similar point against the Lions with the Vikings, is that their offensive line is so good. When you bring guys out of coverage to rush the passer, you obviously have less guys in coverage. The only difference here, I think that the Lions have more playmakers on the outside than the Colts do. And I think that's why I gave the Lions the edge there. And here I don't see it as much.
They're going to get open quickly.
Yes. I think that's the difference
like
here.
St. Brown, Laporta, the running backs, Jameson Williams, like all those guys are getting open. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious. I wasn't trying to like call you out and be like, oh, here's this like discrepancy in what you're saying. I was just curious.
You should call out and call Dylan.
I say, I don't know, you guys. That seemed like a call out to you. I just seemed like a call out.
Yeah, I think that was
Dylan.
No.
I think that was a microaggression.
Ben just said.
No, I just thought it was an interesting point.
I hear you.
It was an interesting point. I wanted to hear your perspective.
No,
that's all.
I'm playing with you.
Honestly, I think that was a slur.
No.
Canceled.
Election year.
Dylan, you brought it up, the yards after catch thing. I just don't think the Colts have the weapons on the outside to make it happen. I don't think Michael Pittman's that kind of guy. I like Josh Downs. I don't think Josh Downs is on that same level as the Jameson Williams and Amon St. Browns of the world. So that's why I lean the Vikings here, but I don't think I'm going to take a side on the spread, Connor.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. If Anthony Richardson was still starting, I would probably put the max amount that my sportsbook would let me on the Vikings to cover. That's without a doubt.
Well, okay.
No, please. What, Dylan?
Well, let's be fair. If Anthony Richardson was starting, it would not be 5.5. It was at 7, I think, to open before the news came.
Joe Flacco interception minus 137 on Caesars right now.
I love it. Oh, he's for sure throwing a pick. I don't know if it cost him the game, but he's for sure throwing an interception.
I think that's true. The one prop I love, which has not been released yet, Josh Downs receptions, whatever you can get it at. If it's 5.5, 6.5, doesn't matter. It's going to be check down central. Joe Flacco loves him for whatever reason, that possession receiver in the slot. I like the Vikings here. I'm with you. I think Flores blitzing this Colts team is a lot different than the Lions faced. And I think Joe Flacco under pressure, not being as mobile as some of these other quarterbacks we've seen the Vikings play, I think you're right. Interceptions there, and I'm going to buy back on the Vikings right now. I think this is a get-right spot for them.
Oh, so just be clear. I sold my stock. I'm not buying back, but you are buying back on the Vikings.
Well, is there like a buyback option for 1 week? Like
so you just sell. Yeah, you could sell after the week.
Okay. Whenever they win by 14, I'll sell after that.
All right, nice.
Okay.
Also,
right.
you talk about that too in the previous games. Like, it's just different wide receivers you're going against. Like Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp had so much success, and also
Stafford's great at that too. Stafford's great at getting the ball out quick.
Yeah, but that's also them traveling to Los Angeles on a short week, and they also have more rest in this spot.
Yeah. No,
Actually, I hate to say this, guys. The Viking schedule, Dylan, we might need to hold the stock a little longer. Jaguars, Titans, Bears, Cardinals after that.
Titans a Wilkerson household Super Bowl. Just saying.
True. Big game.
Give me
Big
Jagan.
Oh, funny.